Jack, how are you looking at it? Both from both point of view. Number one, heritage, which Giriraj is already mentioning, and from the ramifications of it, the communal harmony part of it that Amit is mentioning as a travel and tourism person also.
So generally, so first of all, as a normal citizen, anyone knows what our constitution says, right? We are a secular state. The state has no business to interfere in religion, right? Religion is everyone's personal choice. You do it. So I think it's a very, very wrong statement made by the chief minister and the government if they are taking this up. Now, the second thing that if you are talking about restoring temples, like it's less like a stone thrown in the air. You have not identified which temples you are going to restore. You are not identifying where these temples are or whether they are going to be rebuilt on a structure which already exists. Now, if you go to rebuild on a structure which already exists, there's an act of 1991 which is the Places of Worship Special Provisions Act. This clearly says that you cannot alter the religious structure or the structure of the character of any religious structure which was built, which existed on or before 15th August 1947. So clearly, if you're going to do this on sites which another religious structure exists, then then you're going against this very act. This was only allowed, an exception was allowed in the Ram Mandir case for this. Then the other question which remains is the government has already got limited resources. If you look at the archives and archaeology department, if this funding is going to be done through the archives and archaeology department, half their sites do not have money, they don't have maintenance, they have not been maintained for years. You take the Jain Basti, you take the British cemetery, not maintained. So where is this money coming from? And the Goa has so many more critical challenges. If you need to spend resources, let's look at places where Goa needs these resources. Where does it need? We are not looking after the environment at all. We are highly susceptible to climate change. We are highly susceptible to many other things. And if you're looking at nature worship, looking at worship, let's go back to nature, because what sustains us ultimately is nature. And I think more funds have to go there. Goa is
Very,
susceptible.
very interesting point. Before I go to Giriraj, Cleofat Bab, how are you looking at it, both from the social point of view as well as the legal point of view?
Yeah. See, our places of worship are our symbols of rich cultural heritage. They deserve to be protected. See, we have already done work on Safa Masjid. The Basilica work has been done by the Archaeological Survey. At one time, there was a dispute between the church and the Archaeological Survey, and the government of Goa intervened. That is because we protect our monuments. We protect our heritage, and it is the duty of the state to protect our heritage. From the tourism point of also, our heritage needs to be protected. But look at what the government has done. Both Jack and Amit has pointed out that the sites have not been identified. Sites are not identified, and still the government has set aside an amount of 20 crores without identifying sites. For what this amount is meant for has not been pointed out. Survey work has not been done, and the deputy director of the archives department says that they are going to do a survey, which means up to now nothing is known as to where reconstruction work has to be done. If reconstruction work has to be done, then maybe there are places of worship that needs also attention, like Safa Masjid also needs more attention. You have the church, St. Augustine Church, which requires attention. You have the convent and church of Our Lady of Mount Carmel at Chimel, which requires attention. So, per se, I would not be opposed to protection of ancient monuments or ancient sites, which are our heritage. But the way the government has done, the way the government is going about to protect Hindu temples, which were destroyed during Portuguese time, and Jack has rightly pointed out that there is a law in force which says that places of worship as on 15th August 1947 shall be protected. So which means that now take a instance where, say at Sankwad or maybe at any other place, a temple existed. So are you going to pull down a structure which is protected under a law?
Okay. Now,
And it is not that there are no laws in force. See, even under a existing law, there is a law called the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act in force in our country. Is any place covered under that act? No, nothing of this sort is being done. And Giriraj pointed out that there has been a issue over inquisition. See, there have been abuses of history. But the point is, should abuses of history be repeated? One. Number two, at one point of time, the church and the state, there may be hardly any difference. But today, there is a big difference between a church and a temple, a big difference between church and the state. Church and the state is not one.
okay.
So, abuse of history that happened at the time when church and state was together, can it be done today?
Okay.